Hi there and welcome to 2 Minute Watches. So here today we're comparing the Hamilton Boulton with the Longines DolceVita. A bit of a battle of Cartier tank style watches with that rectangular face dial and the Roman numerals indices. I've already got a video in the channel comparing the Longines with the Cartier tank, which you can check it out. So we're checking out these two models today. Not a quite like for like comparison, given the Longines is the automatic version, and the Hamilton is the quartz. Longines do this one in a quartz movement, and this Hamilton in a automatic version. But I don't have those two models to hand. So, but this will give you a flavour, given they're just different size variants, and the dial work, but outside the movement and dial work, I think it's pretty much the same, and the case kind of shape. So, one of the first thoughts is how straight the lines are. That's what I want to say. The Cartier tank is very straight, very rectangular. The Longines keeps a similar rectangular shape. You can see the rectangular shape of the dial is kind of very straight in that sense, but it's quite rounded. You can see the kind of raised away, almost like a half crescent, half moon kind of shape when it comes out, protrudes out. It does stick quite a lot out with the get that there, with the domed sapphire crystals. You can see that, so it has a very strong 3D effect. You'll see with the Longines, we have the guilloche dial, so you've got a much more patterned element to it, which gives it a bit more character, a little bit more, something a bit more interesting. I found if you check out the video that I did before compared to the Cartier, the dial indices with the Roman numerals are a bit more blue. I think they're just firmly black, and the Cartier similar blue hands. Not much to say there. I think the creamy dial as well, it's not quite white and black, it's kind of creamy and blue. So if you're going for a pure monochrome aesthetic, then maybe Cartier, and then I'll show you the Hamilton is more your vibe. But otherwise, that has its own kind of unique flavour. If you look at the Hamilton Boulton, going back to it now, the indices, you can see, are much more firmly black. You've got a similar blue hands, slightly different shape on the hands, but otherwise still that kind of same imitation of the Cartier blue. But the dial is kind of that firmly kind of white, that white colour. So you're getting a closer imitation of the Cartier elements of it through the black printed Roman numeral indices and the white, much more kind of firmer paper white dial. But other than that, where I think that it starts to differ is that the Hamilton takes a much more rounded approach. You can see that it's rectangular, but it's much more rounded around the sides, as well as being rounded on the case shape as well. What that does, I think, it gives it a bit more of a sporty look. I think the much straighter lines work well in a dress sense, under a suit with a cuffed shirt. But if you're wearing a t-shirt or polo shirt, I found that actually the rounded case style seems to suit that better and give it a much more casual weekend look. So I think that's something to consider. The Longines is much dressier, more formal, more kind of, I'd hesitate to say classy, but maybe posh is probably what we'd call in a UK sense. Whereas the Hamilton, despite having the similar Roman numerals, I think lends itself to the more sporty look. Maybe because of the logo as well. I don't know whether that makes it a bit more sporty versus the winged dial hourglass of the Longines. I don't know if that adds to it. It just seems a bit modern in a way that gives it that kind of more casual weekend look. But anyway, different price points. I think the Hamilton, this quartz Hamilton goes for 600 odd. I think the quartz version of Longines goes for 1,000. So I think it's twice the price really, for like comparison. So that's something to consider. The Longines does look more higher end, more luxurious. I think the word luxury can be applied to the Longines one in a way that Hamilton doesn't quite give off that aesthetic, even though it's very smart, very clean, very wearable. The Longines does exude a luxurious quality that is missing when it's side by side. So I think it serves slightly different purposes. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments.